Welcome to the Wisdom Embassy. This is not just a channel. This is a place where hearts are strengthened, minds are renewed, and faith is awakened. Here we explore powerful messages about purpose, destiny, relationships, and the deeper meaning of life through wisdom, inspired by biblical principles and faith-centered motivation. There are moments in life when the journey of a person begins to unfold in ways that no one around them expected. Sometimes the path that leads to love and marriage does not follow the plans that people make or the predictions that society gives. Many individuals grow up imagining what their future partner will look like, where they will come from, or how the story will unfold. Yet life often reveals that the plans of God move beyond human expectation and beyond human imagination. There are people listening right now who have felt overlooked, misunderstood, or even judged because their lives did not unfold the way others believed they should. You may have experienced seasons where people questioned your decisions or doubted your direction. You may have heard voices saying that your future would never become what you believe deep in your heart. But there is something powerful about the way divine purpose works. It often reveals itself in ways that surprise everyone, including those who once doubted. The scriptures remind us in Isaiah 55:8 that the thoughts of the Lord are not our thoughts, and His ways are higher than our ways. This means that the journey of a chosen individual cannot always be understood by the people around them. Sometimes the very person that others overlook becomes a person who carries the greatest purpose. Marriage itself was never designed to be simply a social arrangement or decision based on appearance, status, or popularity. Marriage is a covenant that connects two destinies. It is the coming together of two individuals whose journeys have been shaped by lessons, experiences, and preparation that only time can produce. Where you fit, there only time can produce. There are many people who spend years searching for validation from others regarding who they should love, or who they should marry, or who they should marry. They listen to opinions from friends, relatives, and society, hoping that approval from others will confirm their decisions. Yet when a person begins to understand divine purpose, they realize something important. The direction of your life cannot be determined by the expectations of the crowd. Sometimes the partner meant for your life will not match the expectations that people created for you. The world may imagine one type of person for you, while your destiny is connected to someone completely different. This is why many of the most meaningful relationships begin quietly, without recognition from the outside world. In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16, the prophet was sent to choose a king from among the sons of Jesse. As each son passed before him, the people expected the strongest and most impressive candidate to be chosen. Yet the one who was selected was the one no one expected. The Lord reminded the prophet that people look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. That principle reveals something powerful about relationships and marriage. The world often chooses based on external qualities, but divine purpose looks deeper. The qualities that truly sustain a marriage are not always visible on the surface. They are found in character, patience, humility, and faith. There are chosen individuals who have walked through seasons of loneliness or misunderstanding. They watched others enter relationship while their own journey remained quiet. They wondered if their time would ever come. Yet those quiet seasons were not empty. They were seasons of preparation. Preparation shapes the heart in ways that comfort cannot. It teaches patience where impatience once existed. It teaches understanding where pride once lived. It teaches gratitude for companionship rather than taking it for granted. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. That means love also has its season. Marriage has its appointed time. And the person meant to walk beside you will arrive at the moment when both lives have been prepared to build something lasting. Many people fail in relationships because they rush into commitment without preparation. They see love as excitement rather than responsibility. But true love carries responsibility. It requires emotional maturity, communication, forgiveness, and sacrifice. The chosen individual begins to understand that marriage is not about finding someone perfect. It is about finding someone whose heart aligns with purpose, whose spirit values commitment, and whose presence encourages growth. There are moments when people around you may question the person you choose. They may say that they expected someone different. They may wonder why you connected with someone who does not match their ideas of success or status. But those voices cannot determine the direction of your life. Proverbs 3:5 teaches us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding. When you trust divine guidance, you begin to realize that the most meaningful decisions in life are often misunderstood by those who are not walking your path. There are stories throughout Scripture that reveal how unexpected unions can create powerful outcomes. Ruth came from a different background and a different nation, yet her loyalty and faithfulness became part of a story that shaped generations. Her journey shows that love and destiny are not limited by the boundaries people create. Sometimes the person meant F, or your life will appear at a moment when you were not actively searching. They may enter your life through ordinary circumstances rather than dramatic events. Yet something within your spirit recognizes a sense of peace and familiarity that cannot be explained easily. That sense of peace is important because it reflects alignment rather than confusion. Relationships that are built on purpose bring clarity rather than chaos. They encourage growth rather than insecurity. When two individuals who have walked through seasons of preparation finally meet, they bring lessons with them. They understand patience because they have waited. They understand compassion because they have experienced hardship. They understand commitment because they have seen the consequences of instability. The book of Proverbs 24:3 tells us that through wisdom a house is built and through understanding it is established. A strong marriage is built the same way. It is built with wisdom, understanding, patience, and mutual respect. People may not expect the union that is forming in your life because they only see the surface. They may not understand the quiet journey that shaped both hearts. They may not know the prayers, the lessons, the moments of growth that prepared two individuals for each other. But destiny does not depend on public approval. Destiny depends on alignment with purpose. There are chosen individuals who once believed they needed to change themselves to meet the expectations of others. They believed they needed to become someone different in order to be loved. Yet true partnership begins when a person learns to value who they truly are. Authenticity attracts authenticity. Attracts authenticity. Attracts authenticity. When you stop pretending to be someone else, you create space for the right connection to enter your life. Psalm 37:4 reminds us to delight ourselves in the Lord, and He will give us the desires of our heart. This verse is not simply about receiving what we want. It is about allowing our hearts to be shaped by wisdom so that our desires align with purpose. As your heart becomes aligned with purpose, the person who enters your life will reflect that same direction. They will not distract you from growth. They will encourage it. This is why some relationships end even when people try to hold on to them. They end because they were not aligned with purpose. And although those endings can feel painful, they often clear the path for something better. Sometimes people who once doubted your future will be surprised by the partner who walks beside you. They may not understand how the connection formed or why it feels so natural. But those who understand faith recognize that divine timing often creates outcomes that no human plan could design. Marriage is not simply about sharing a home or building a family. It is about partnership and purpose. It is about two individuals supporting one another as they grow and fulfill the calling placed on their lives. When partnership is built on purpose, it creates strength during difficult seasons. Challenges will come because life always carries challenges. But a relationship grounded in faith, patience, and commitment can endure those moments. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Because they have a good reward for their labor. Partnership multiplies strength when both individuals support each other with sincerity and dedication. There are people who once believed your story would remain ordinary. They believed your life would follow predictable patterns. Yet purpose has a way of surprising everyone. And as your journey continues to unfold, you may begin to realize that the person entering your life carries qualities that people around you never noticed before. They may carry kindness where others expected ambition. They may carry wisdom where others expected status. But those qualities are the ones that sustain a lifetime of partnership. Because the success of a marriage is not measured by public approval, but by the peace and strength that two individuals build together as they continue walking forward through life. And as that realization begins to grow inside your heart, you slowly understand that purpose often works quietly before it becomes visible. Many of the most meaningful relationships are formed in the unseen places of life, where character is developed and faith is strengthened. While the world celebrates what is obvious and impressive, divine preparation often happens in silence. While the world celebrates what is obvious and impressive, divine preparation often happens in silence. It happens in moments when a person is learning patience, when they are discovering their identity, and when they are being shaped into someone capable of loving with sincerity, rather than simply emotion. There are individuals who have spent years wondering why certain relationships never worked out. They question whether something was wrong with them or whether their hopes for marriage would ever become reality. But what many do not realize is that sometimes protection looks like delay. Sometimes the ending of one relationship becomes the doorway that prevents a person from walking into a future that was never meant for them. Proverbs 19:21 reminds us that many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the purpose of the Lord that prevails. This verse speaks directly to the mystery of life's direction. Human beings create plans and expectations, but purpose often moves in a direction that cannot be predicted by human understanding. That is why the journey of a chosen individual can appear confusing to others. Friends may wonder why you remain patient while others rush into relationships. Family members may question why you are not settling for the options that seem available around you. They may not understand that seem available around you. They may not understand that omitting inside your spirit is guiding you to wait for something deeper than convenience. Waiting requires strength because the world constantly pressures people to move quickly. Society teaches that happiness must be achieved immediately, yet wisdom teaches something different. Wisdom teaches that the greatest blessings often require preparation before they arrive. The book of Proverbs speaks repeatedly about the value of wisdom and understanding. Proverbs 4:7 tells us that wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all your getting, get understanding. In the context of relationships, wisdom becomes essential because marriage is not sustained by attraction alone. It is sustained by understanding, communication, respect, and faithfulness. There are couples who begin their journey with excitement but struggle because they never develop the maturity required to navigate life together. They enter marriage expecting constant happiness, but discover that commitment requires sacrifice and patience. The chosen individual learns these lessons during the waiting season. Instead of seeing time as an enemy, they begin to see it as a teacher. Time teaches humility. It teaches gratitude. It teaches the ability to appreciate companionship when it finally arrives. You begin to realize that love is not only about finding someone who makes you feel good in the moment. Love is about finding someone who respects your purpose and encourages you to grow. It is about partnership rather than possession. The scriptures speak about love in a way that reveals its deeper meaning. In 1 Corinthians 13, we read that love is patient and kind. Love does not envy and it does not boast. It is not proud and it does not dishonor others. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. These qualities describe a love that is built on character rather than impulse. They describe a love that grows stronger through time because it is rooted in sincerity. When the right person enters your life, you may notice that the relationship carries a different kind of peace. There is less confusion and more clarity. Conversations become opportunities for understanding rather than competition. For understanding rather than competition. Disagreements are approached with respect rather than hostility. Peace becomes one of the most important indicators that a relationship is aligned with purpose. Colossians 3:15 encourages believers to let the peace of God rule in their hearts. Peace does not mean that challenges will never appear, but it means that the relationship itself does not constantly create anxiety and instability. There are individuals who have spent years in relationships filled with uncertainty and emotional turbulence. They learn to associate love with struggle and confusion. Yet when a relationship aligned with purpose begins to develop, it often feels different from those past experiences. It feels calm rather than chaotic. It feels secure rather than uncertain. It feels supportive rather than competitive. Sometimes this difference surprises the people around you because they expected you to choose someone based on status or popularity. Instead, you may find yourself drawn to someone whose character reflects kindness, humility, and wisdom. People may not understand why you chose that person. They may not see the quiet strength within them. They may not see the quiet strength within them. But the qualities that truly sustain a marriage are not always visible to the outside world. The book of 1 Peter 3 speaks about the value of inner beauty and gentle character, reminding us that these qualities hold great worth in the sight of God. This teaching reminds us that the most valuable attributes in a partner are not always the ones that society celebrates. When two individuals come together with humility and sincerity, they create a partnership that can endure life's challenges. They become sources of strength for one another. Marriage requires that kind of strength because life will bring moments of uncertainty and difficulty. Financial pressures may arise. Unexpected changes may occur. Personal struggles may test the patience of both partners. With tested patience of both partners, but when a relationship is built on faith, respect, and shared purpose, those challenges become opportunities for growth rather than reasons for separation. Ecclesiastes 4:12 tells us that a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. This verse reflects the strength that exists when a relationship is built upon faith and commitment. Two individuals supporting one another while also remaining connected to divine guidance create a foundation that is difficult to shake. The chosen individual eventually begins to see that their journey was never random. Every lesson, every disappointment, every moment of waiting was shaping the person they would become. Every moment of waiting was shaping the person they would become. Those experiences prepared them to appreciate the partner who would one day walk beside them. They taught them how to communicate honestly, how to forgive when mistakes occur, and how to remain committed even during difficult seasons. Forgiveness becomes especially important within marriage because no human being is perfect. Every individual carries weaknesses and habits that may require patience from their partner. Ephesians 4:32 encourages believers to be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as God forgave you. This instruction reflects the spirit of grace that allows relationships to heal and grow. A marriage without forgiveness becomes trapped in cycles of resentment. But a marriage where forgiveness is practiced creates space for growth and renewal. As time passes, you may also discover that your partner shares experiences that mirror your own journey. They may have walked through seasons that mirror your own journey. They may have walked through seasons of disappointment that strengthened their faith. They may have learned lessons about patience and humility that prepared them for partnership. These shared experiences create empathy between two individuals. They allow each partner to understand the struggles the other has faced. Empathy deepens connection because it reminds both individuals that they are not walking through life alone. They are walking together with understanding and compassion. Another quality that grows within a purpose-driven relationship is gratitude. When two people recognize the journey that brought them together, they begin to appreciate each moment they share. Gratitude protects a relationship from becoming routine or taken for granted. It reminds each partner that companionship itself is a gift. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 encourages believers to give thanks in all circumstances. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is present. As your relationship continues to develop, you may notice how your perspective about the future becomes more hopeful. Instead of fearing uncertainty, you begin to trust that the same guidance that brought you together will also help you navigate the journey ahead. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us that the plans of the Lord are plans for peace and hope, not for harm. This promise encourages confidence in the direction of life, even when circumstances change. When two individuals walk forward with that kind of faith, they create an environment where love can grow steadily. They support one another's dreams and encourage one another's growth. Purpose-driven relationships do not suppress individuality. Instead, they allow both partners to develop their gifts while building a shared vision for the future. Proverbs 27:17 says that iron sharpens iron and one person sharpens another. This verse reflects the idea that strong relationships encourage growth rather than complacency. P, partners who challenge each other to become better create a dynamic where both individuals continue evolving. There may come a day when people who once doubted your journey look at your life and realize that something meaningful has been built through patience and faith. They may finally see the strength of the partnership that once surprised them. But by that time, their approval will no longer matter as much, because the peace within your relationship will speak louder than any opinion. You will recognize that the person walking beside you was never chosen according to public expectation. They were connected to your life through purpose. And as both of you continue moving forward, through the seasons of life, learning, growing, supporting, and strengthening one another, you will begin to understand that the most beautiful relationships are not the ones that begin with universal approval, but the ones that are built quietly through faith, patience, humility, and a shared commitment to walk together through whatever the future may bring. And as the journey continues unfolding, there comes a deeper understanding that destiny rarely announces itself loudly at the beginning. It grows slowly like a seed planted beneath the soil long before anyone can see the evidence of its existence. Many people judge the surface of life without realizing that the most important developments are happening in hidden places. In the same way, relationships that are rooted in purpose are often formed quietly. They do not always begin with public celebration or immediate recognition. Instead, they begin with simple conversations, honest connections, and a shared sense of peace that cannot easily be explained. There are people who once believed that love must appear in dramatic ways in order to be meaningful. They imagined that the right relationship would arrive with grand signs and constant excitement. But their maturity reveals a different truth. The strongest connections often begin with calmness rather than chaos. They begin with understanding rather than confusion. Psalm 37:27-23 reminds us that the steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in their way. This scripture reveals something important about life. Even when we feel uncertain about the path we are walking, the direction of our journey is not random. Every step, every encounter, and every experience contributes to the story that is unfolding. Some moments teach patience while others teach humility. Some moments teach patience while others teach humility. Some moments reveal our weaknesses while others reveal our strength. These lessons become essential preparation for partnership. Because marriage brings together two individuals who must navigate life side by side. Each person carries their own experiences, their own hopes, and their own challenges. Without preparation, these differences can create conflict. But when both individuals have spent time developing wisdom and self-understanding, those differences become opportunities for growth. Proverbs 18:22 tells us that the one who finds a spouse finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. This verse emphasizes the value of companionship and the blessing that comes when two lives unite with sincerity. But finding a spouse is not simply about discovering someone who appears at the right moment. It involves recognizing the qualities that sustain a lifetime of commitment. Character becomes one of the most important qualities within a relationship. Character determines how a person behaves when circumstances become difficult. It influences whether someone responds with patience or anger with humility or pride. During the waiting season, character is strengthened through experience. Individuals learn how to manage disappointment without losing hope. They learn how to maintain integrity even when others choose easier paths. When two people who value character come together, they create a partnership that can endure challenges because both individuals understand the importance of responsibility. They three paths when coming the purpose of responsibility. Responsibility is often overlooked in modern conversations about love. Many people speak about feelings but avoid discussing the discipline required to maintain a healthy relationship. Marriage requires discipline in communication, discipline in financial decisions, discipline in emotional reactions, and discipline in maintaining respect for one another. Maintain respect for one another. Galatians 6:9 encourages believers not to grow weary in doing good, because in due season they will reap if they do not lose heart. This principle applies to relationships as well. Consistent kindness, patience, and respect create a foundation that grows stronger over time. There will be days when one partner feels tired or discouraged. There will be moments when misunderstandings arise, but discipline helps individuals respond with wisdom rather than impulsive reactions. As the relationship develops, deeper layers of trust begin to form. Trust does not appear instantly. It grows gradually as each partner proves their reliability through consistent actions. Proverbs 20:6 asks a powerful question, saying, "Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find?" Faithfulness is rare because it requires commitment even when circumstances are challenging. Yet faithfulness is the quality that transforms a relationship into a lifelong partnership. It assures both individuals that they can rely on one another during moments of uncertainty. There are couples who once faced criticism from others because their connection seemed unexpected. People questioned their compatibility or doubted the strength of their bond. But as time passed, the quiet consistency of their relationship revealed something remarkable. They continued supporting one another through successes and struggles. They remained loyal during seasons of change. And eventually the very people who once doubted them began to recognize the strength of their partnership. This transformation often surprises observers because they realize that their initial judgments were based on superficial impressions rather than deeper understanding. The book of James reminds us in chapter 1 that wisdom should be sought with sincerity because God gives generously to those who ask without finding fault. Wisdom allows individuals to see beyond appearances and recognize the deeper qualities that truly matter. Within a purpose-driven relationship, wisdom encourages thoughtful decisions. Couples begin to consider not only their present happiness, but also the future they are building together. They discuss their values, their priorities, and the kind of life they hope to create. These conversations strengthen unity because they reveal whether both individuals share similar visions. Amos 3:3 asks how two people can walk together unless they agree. Agreement does not mean identical personalities or identical interests. It means shared direction, shared values, and mutual respect. When two individuals walk in agreement, their partnership becomes a source of stability. They encourage each other to pursue goals, while also supporting the well-being of their family. Another powerful quality that emerges within mature relationships is humility. Humility allows individuals to admit mistakes and learn from them rather than defending pride. Pride often creates division because it prevents honest communication. Pride often creates division because it prevents honest communication. When one partner refuses to acknowledge errors, resentment begins to grow. But humility creates an environment where healing can occur. It allows both individuals to approach disagreements with openness and sincerity. Philippians 2:3 encourages believers to do nothing out of supply. Philippians 3 encourages believers to do nothing out of supply, fish ambition, or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than themselves. This teaching emphasizes the importance of mutual respect within relationships. When humility guides the heart, individuals become more attentive to the needs and feelings of their partner. They listen carefully and respond with compassion rather than defensiveness. Compassion itself becomes a powerful force within marriage because it reminds both partners that life contains moments of vulnerability. Everyone experiences seasons of weakness, uncertainty, and emotional struggle. During those moments, compassion provides comfort and reassurance. It reminds each person that they are not facing challenges alone. Romans 12:15 encourages believers to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. This instruction reflects the emotional partnership that exists within a healthy relationship. Sharing both joy and sorrow strengthens connection because it deepens understanding. Couples who support one another during difficult seasons often develop bonds that cannot easily be broken. A prize that cannot easily be broken. Another aspect of preparation that becomes evident over time is the ability to manage expectations. Early ideas about marriage may include unrealistic assumptions about constant happiness or effortless harmony. But experience teaches that every relationship requires effort and patience. Differences in personality, habits, and preferences will occasionally create tension. When expectations are grounded in wisdom, rather than fantasy, couples approach challenges with realistic perspectives. They understand that growth occurs through communication, compromise, and mutual respect. Proverbs 15:1 offers simple yet profound guidance, saying that a gentle answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up wrath. The way individuals communicate during disagreement can determine whether conflict leads to division or resolution. Gentleness reflects emotional maturity because it prioritizes understanding over winning an argument. When both partners practice gentle communication, misunderstandings are resolved more quickly. Over time, the relationship becomes a place where both individuals feel safe expressing their thoughts and emotions without fear of rejection. Safety within a relationship encourages honesty because each partner knows that their vulnerability will be met with respect rather than judgment. This environment of trust and honesty allows love to deepen beyond superficial attraction. It becomes a partnership rooted in authenticity. Authenticity means that individuals do not feel pressured to hide their weaknesses or pretend to be someone they are not. Instead, they are accepted and supported as they continue growing. The scriptures remind us in Psalm 133 that how good and pleasant it is when people live together in unity. That the unity does not eliminate individuality, but it creates harmony between different personalities and perspectives. As unity strengthens, couples begin building traditions, memories, and shared experiences that shape the story of their life together. They celebrate milestones, overcome obstacles, and create moments of joy that become part of their history. Sometimes those moments appear simple from the outside, but they carry deep meaning because they represent the journey that brought two lives together. People who once questioned the relationship may eventually see the quiet happiness that exists within it. They may notice the respect, kindness, and loyalty that define the partnership. And slowly they begin to understand that the unexpected union they once doubted was actually guided by purpose. Because the truth is that destiny often connects people in ways that defy human prediction. The person who stands beside you in the future may not resemble the image others imagine for your life, but they will carry the qualities that matter most: patience, integrity, faithfulness, compassion, and strength of character. Those qualities create a relationship capable of enduring the changing seasons of life. And as both individuals continue walking forward, learning from one another, encouraging one another, and building a life together, they begin to realize that the unexpected path they once traveled was not a mistake at all, but a carefully guided journey leading them toward a partnership that reflects purpose, trust, and unwavering commitment And as the years continue to shape the understanding of two people walking side by side, something remarkable begins to happen within the heart. The idea of marriage slowly transforms from a simple desire for companionship into a deeper understanding of partnership, purpose, and responsibility. What once seemed like a romantic dream begins to reveal itself as a sacred commitment that requires patience, strength, and wisdom. There are individuals who once believed that the success of a relationship depended only on compatibility or attraction, but time reveals that lasting relationships are built on much stronger foundations. They are built on trust that develops through consistency. They are built on respect that grows through humility. They are built on faith that anchors two people when circumstances become uncertain. Proverbs 24:3 tells us that through wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. This scripture reminds us that a strong home does not appear by accident. It is constructed carefully through choices, attitudes, and actions that reflect maturity. When two individuals come together with the intention of building rather than simply enjoying the moment, they begin laying the foundation for something that can endure the passing of time. There will be seasons when life brings There will be intentionally celebration and joy. There will also be seasons when unexpected challenges appear. These moments reveal the strength of the foundation that has been built. Some people walk away from relationships when difficulties arise because they never understood that challenges are part of life itself. But those who have prepared their hearts recognize that commitment means remaining faithful, even when circumstances become demanding. James 1:2 encourages believers to consider it joy when they face trials, because those experiences produce perseverance. Perseverance shapes character, and character strengthens faith. Within marriage, perseverance becomes one of the most valuable qualities because it allows two individuals to face challenges to divide them, rather than allowing those challenges to divide them. There may be moments when the world around you changes rapidly. Financial pressures may arise, or career paths may shift unexpectedly. Personal struggles may test emotional strength. Yet when two people stand together with faith and understanding, they discover that unity can transform difficulty into growth. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us again that two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Partnership multiplies the ability to endure life's trials because each person becomes a source of support for the other. Support does not only appear in dramatic moments of crisis, it also appears in small daily acts of kindness, encouragement, and understanding. A simple word of appreciation can strengthen the heart of a partner who feels tired after a long day. A quiet moment of listening can bring comfort to someone who carries emotional burdens. These small actions may seem insignificant to outsiders, but they become powerful expressions of love within a relationship. Love expressed through everyday kindness gradually transforms the atmosphere of a home. It creates a place where both individuals feel valued, respected, and understood. The scriptures remind us in Colossians 3:14 that love binds everything together in perfect unity. Love becomes the thread that connects patience, forgiveness, humility, and compassion. Without love, these qualities may fade during difficult moments. But when love remains strong, it inspires individuals to continue choosing kindness even when emotions fluctuate. Emotions themselves are powerful yet unpredictable. Feelings can rise and fall depending on circumstances, experiences, and personal struggles. That is why mature relationships do not rely solely on emotions. They rely on commitment. Commitment means choosing loyalty even on days when feelings are uncertain. It means remembering the promises made during moments of clarity and honoring those promises during moments of difficulty. The book of Proverbs teaches repeatedly about the importance of keeping one's word. Integrity within marriage reflects the same principle. When two individuals keep their promises, they create an environment of trust that allows both partners to feel secure. Security within a relationship encourages openness because each person knows that their vulnerability will not be used against them. This environment allows deeper conversations to occur. Couples begin sharing dreams, fears, and hopes for the future. Sharing dreams creates motivation because both individuals become invested in building something meaningful together. They begin planning for the future not as separate individuals, but as partners whose lives are connected. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us that the plans of the Lord are plans for peace and hope, not for harm. For peace and hope, not for harm. When couples trust this promise, they approach the future with optimism rather than fear. Faith becomes a guiding force that helps them navigate uncertainty with confidence. Confidence does not mean ignoring challenges. Indeed, it means believing that challenges can be overcome through cooperation and trust. Over time, the relationship develops its own rhythm as each partner learns the habits, preferences, and emotional needs of the other. Understanding these details strengthens connection because it allows both individuals to respond with sensitivity and care. Proverbs 27:17 says that iron sharpens iron and one person sharpens another. This sharpening process reflects growth that occurs when two individuals influence each other positively. A partner may encourage discipline in areas where the other once struggled. They may inspire creativity, curiosity, or courage. Curiosity, or courage. Growth within a relationship benefits both individuals because it expands their understanding of themselves, and each other. Sometimes the most meaningful growth occurs during seasons when life feels uncertain. Those seasons challenge couples to rely on patience and faith. Patience teaches individuals to slow down and reflect rather than reacting impulsively. Reflection allows both partners to examine their attitudes, behaviors, and expectations. They begin asking questions that lead to deeper understanding. How can we support each other more effectively? How can we communicate with greater clarity? How can we strengthen our partnership during difficult moments? These questions guide couples towards solutions rather than allowing frustration to dominate their thoughts. Communication becomes one of the most powerful tools within marriage because it transforms misunderstandings into opportunities for connection. Proverbs 15:23 reminds us that a person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. Words spoken with wisdom can calm tension and encourage hope. The tone and intention behind words often matter more than the words themselves. When communication is guided by respect, conversations become productive rather than destructive. Over time, couples learn how to approach disagreements without allowing them to damage the relationship. They listen carefully to each other's perspectives, recognizing that both viewpoints may contain valuable insights. Listening requires humility because it means acknowledging that one person does not possess all the answers. Humility invites cooperation because it encourages individuals to work together rather than competing for dominance. Philippians 2:4 encourages believers to look not only to their own interests, but also to the interests of others. When both partners practice this principle, they create a balanced partnership where neither individual feels neglected or ignored. Balance becomes essential within marriage because life includes many responsibilities: career, family, community, and personal growth. Managing these responsibilities requires cooperation and understanding. Couples who support each other's responsibilities strengthen the relationship because they demonstrate appreciation for the effort each partner contributes. Appreciation itself becomes a powerful motivator. When people feel appreciated, they are more willing to continue investing energy into the relationship. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into expressions of love. A simple thank you can remind a partner that their actions are valued and recognized. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 encourages believers to give thanks in all circumstances. Gratitude nurtures joy because it focuses attention on blessings rather than shortcomings. As gratitude becomes part of daily life, couples begin noticing the beauty within ordinary experiences. Sharing a meal together, enjoying a quiet evening conversation, or walking side by side through familiar places becomes meaningful because those moments represent companionship. Companionship is one of the greatest gifts within marriage because it reminds individuals that they are not facing life alone. Psalm 121 speaks about the assurance that help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. This assurance strengthens faith during uncertain moments. When couples share faith, they encourage each other to remain hopeful even when circumstances appear difficult. Hope creates resilience because it reminds individuals that challenges are temporary and growth often emerges from adversity. Resilience becomes especially important during seasons when plans change unexpectedly. Perhaps a career opportunity shifts direction or personal goals require adjustment. These changes can create stress if individuals attempt to face them alone. But when two people stand together, they become stronger than they would be individually. Ecclesiastes again reminds us that if one falls, the other can help them up. This simple image illustrates the strength of partnership. Life occasionally brings moments when one partner feels discouraged or overwhelmed. During those moments, the other partner becomes a source of encouragement, reminding them of their value and potential. Encouragement has the power to restore confidence and renew determination. And in new determination, as years pass, couples who practice encouragement develop a relationship filled with mutual admiration. They celebrate each other's achievements rather than competing for attention. Celebration strengthens connection because it acknowledges the effort each partner invests in their personal growth and shared goals. Over time, the story of their relationship becomes a testimony of perseverance, faith, and unexpected blessing. Faith and unexpected blessing. People who once doubted the union may look at the life being built and realize that something remarkable has emerged from what once seemed unlikely. They begin to see that the partnership they questioned was actually guided by purpose all along, because destiny does not follow the expectation. Ease shaping you because destiny does not follow the expectation. Sub-observers. Destiny follows the quiet direction of divine wisdom. And as the journey continues unfolding through years of shared experiences, conversations, lessons, and victories, the two individuals walking together gradually understand that the unexpected path they once followed has become the very road that led them toward a relationship filled with meaning, stability, faith, and enduring love. And as the path of life continues to unfold, something even deeper begins to take shape inside the hearts of those who have committed themselves to walk together. What once felt like a simple connection gradually becomes a partnership filled with purpose, meaning, and quiet strength. Over time, both individuals start realizing that their journey together was not formed merely by chance, but by a sequence of moments, lessons, and decisions that prepared them for one another. There were seasons in the past when they did not fully understand why certain doors closed or why certain relationships did not work. At that time, disappointment may have filled the heart with confusion and questions. Yet with the passing of years, clarity slowly replaces confusion. Looking back, they begin to see that every delay, every unanswered expectation, and every unexpected turn was quietly guiding them toward a future that was more aligned with purpose. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us that a person may plan their path, but the Lord directs their steps. This wisdom reveals that human understanding is limited. Many people make plans based on what they see at the moment, but the larger design of life often remains hidden until the right season arrives. Because of this hidden design, there are moments when life introduces two individuals in ways that surprise everyone around them. Friends, family, and observers may struggle to understand how such a connection formed. They may even question whether the relationship can truly succeed. But those who are inside the relationship often sense something that others cannot see. They recognize the peace that exists within their connection, They notice the respect, the patience, and the encouragement that flows naturally between them. Peace is an important indicator within a relationship because genuine peace does not depend on constant excitement or perfect circumstances. Instead, peace grows from trust and shared understanding. Isaiah 26:3 reminds us that perfect peace is given to those whose minds remain steadfast because they trust in the Lord. When two individuals carry this peace into their relationship, they approach challenges with calm confidence rather than fear. Life inevitably brings moments of pressure and uncertainty. Financial responsibilities may increase careers, may demand more time, and unexpected obstacles may appear without warning. Yet couples who are rooted in faith and patience discover that these pressures do not have to destroy their unity. Instead, they can become opportunities to strengthen their bond. When challenges arise, the way partners respond to each other becomes more important than the challenge itself. If frustration is answered with anger, the situation may escalate. But if difficulty is met with patience and understanding, the relationship becomes stronger. Proverbs 17:17 tells us that a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. Within marriage, this principle becomes even more powerful because both partners commit themselves to remain supportive during moments of adversity. Support does not mean solving every problem immediately. Sometimes support simply means standing beside one another, offering encouragement, and refusing to allow fear to control the situation. Encouragement can restore hope during moments when one partner feels overwhelmed. Words spoken with sincerity carry tremendous influence. Because they remind a person of their strength and value. Many individuals underestimate the impact of positive words within a relationship. Yet the book of Proverbs repeatedly teaches that life and death are in the power of the tongue. A simple statement of belief can inspire courage within a partner who doubts their ability to continue forward. Imagine a moment when one partner feels discouraged about their career or personal progress. Instead of criticism, the other partner offers reassurance, saying that challenges are temporary and growth is still possible. This kind of encouragement creates emotional safety within the relationship. Emotional safety allows individuals to share their struggles without fear of judgment. Over time, this openness strengthens intimacy because both partners learn to trust one another with their most vulnerable thoughts. Trust becomes the bridge that connects two hearts together. Without trust, even the most attractive relationship eventually weakens. But with trust, a relationship can endure seasons of difficulty while continuing to grow stronger. Psalm 37:5 encourages believers to commit their way to the Lord, trusting Him to act. This commitment reflects a deeper attitude of surrender and faith. Couples who practice this kind of trust do not rely only on their own strength. They seek guidance through prayer, reflection, and wisdom. When faith becomes part of daily life, the relationship gains spiritual stability. Decisions are approached thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Spiritual stability also influences the way couples treat one another during disagreements. Disagreements are natural because two individuals bring different perspectives into the relationship. But disagreements do not have to become destructive. Ephesians 4:2 encourages believers to be completely humble and gentle, bearing with one another in love. This instruction provides a blueprint for healthy communication. Humility allows individuals to acknowledge that their perspective may not always be perfect. Gentleness prevents conversations from turning into conflicts driven by pride. When couples practice humility and gentleness, disagreements become opportunities for understanding rather than division. They learn how to listen with patience, allowing the other person to express their thoughts fully. Listening itself is an act of respect because it communicates that the partner's feelings matter. Many relationships struggle not because of major problems, but because one or both partners feel unheard. When people feel unheard, frustration grows silently over time. But when communication remains open, misunderstandings are resolved more quickly. James 1:19 offers simple yet powerful guidance, saying everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This principle becomes incredibly valuable within marriage because it encourages thoughtful responses rather than emotional reactions. Thoughtful responses reflect maturity. They demonstrate that the relationship is more important than winning an argument. As maturity grows, couples begin recognizing patterns in their communication and communication. They learn how to express concerns calmly rather than allowing emotions to explode unexpectedly. This awareness strengthens the partnership because both individuals feel responsible for maintaining harmony. Harmony does not mean avoiding important conversations. Instead, it means addressing issues with honesty and respect. Over time, the relationship begins to reflect a deeper level of unity. Unity allows couples to pursue shared goals with determination. They may build a home, create a family, develop a business, or contribute to their community. Whatever path they choose, unity multiplies their effectiveness because both partners work together toward the same vision. Amos 3 again reminds us that two cannot walk together unless they agree. Agreement grows through conversation, planning, and mutual respect. It does not mean both partners always think identically, but it means they share a common direction. Direction gives purpose to the relationship. Instead of drifting aimlessly, couples move forward intentionally, building a future that reflects their values. Values shape decisions about finances, family priorities, and personal growth. Couples who share strong values often discover that their relationship becomes a source of stability for those around them. Friends, relatives, and community members may look at their partnership and feel inspired by the respect and cooperation they observe. Sometimes those same observers who once doubted the relationship begin recognizing its strength. They realize that what once seemed unexpected has become something admirable and meaningful. The transformation of perception often occurs gradually. People begin noticing the consistency, kindness, and loyalty that define the partnership. Consistency itself becomes one of the most powerful qualities within a relationship. Consistency itself becomes one of the most powerful qualities within a relationship. Consistency means showing up with the same commitment day after day, year after year. It means choosing love, patience, and faithfulness, not only during exciting moments, but also during ordinary days. Ordinary days make up the majority of life. These are the moments when couples share meals, discuss plans, handle responsibilities, and support each other through routine challenges. They support each other through routine challenges. Within these ordinary moments, the true strength of marriage becomes visible. Because love expressed through everyday actions creates a lasting bond that dramatic gestures alone cannot sustain. 1 Corinthians 13 reminds us that love is patient and kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. This description of love emphasizes character rather than emotion. Love becomes a choice demonstrated through behavior. Patience allows individuals to accept imperfections while continuing to encourage growth. Kindness transforms small interactions into expressions of care. Humility prevents pride from damaging communication. Faithfulness ensures that commitment remains strong even during difficult seasons. Ensures that commitment remains strong even during difficult seasons. These qualities together create a relationship that reflects both emotional depth and spiritual maturity. As the years continue unfolding, couples who practice these principles begin seeing the beauty of their shared journey. Memories accumulate through experiences, conversations, and challenges overcome together. They remember the early days when their connection seemed uncertain to others. Their connection seemed uncertain to others. They remember the moments when they supported one another through struggles. They remember the victories that brought celebration and gratitude. When each memory becomes part of a story that reflects perseverance, faith, and unexpected blessing. And eventually the two individuals walking together recognize that the path they once questioned has become the very road that shaped their lives. What began as an unexpected union has grown into a partnership defined by trust, resilience, and enduring love. Because sometimes the most meaningful relationships are not the ones people predict or expect. They are the ones that develop quietly, guided by wisdom, strengthened by patience, and sustained by faith. And as the journey continues forward, through new seasons, new opportunities, and new lessons, the partnership grows deeper, stronger, and more meaningful with every passing year. And as the story of two lives continues unfolding through time, something profound begins to shape their understanding of love, purpose, and commitment. What once seemed like a surprising connection slowly reveals itself as a carefully guided journey that prepared both hearts for nothing greater than they had imagined. There was a time when each of them walked separate paths, learning lessons that felt difficult and sometimes confusing. In those earlier seasons, they faced disappointments, questions, and moments when the future seemed unclear. Yet those very moments became the training ground where patience, humility, and faith were formed. Many people do not realize that the waiting seasons of life are not empty seasons, they are preparation seasons. They are preparation seasons. During those quiet years, character is developed and wisdom grows slowly within the heart. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that there is a time for everything and a season for every purpose under heaven. This wisdom reveals that life unfolds through carefully timed moments rather than random events. When two individuals eventually meet after passing through their own seasons of preparation, they often carry qualities that make their partnership stronger. They have learned how to endure disappointment without becoming bitter. They have learned how to appreciate kindness because they have experienced moments when kindness was rare. They have learned how to value loyalty because they have witnessed the pain caused by betrayal. These lessons shape the way they approach their relationship. Instead of rushing forward without thought, they begin building their connection with intention. They choose honesty over appearance and sincerity over temporary excitement. Sincerity becomes the foundation upon which trust grows. Trust develops slowly through repeated actions that demonstrate reliability. Trust develops slowly through repeated actions that demonstrate reliability. Every promise kept, every supportive word, and every moment of patience strengthens a bond between two people. Psalm 37 encourages believers to trust in the Lord and do good, dwelling in the land and enjoying safe pasture. Trust creates stability within the heart, and that stability even influences relationships as well. When two individuals approach their partnership with trust, they no longer feel the need to control every outcome. Instead, they learn to walk together with faith, believing that their journey is being guided. Faith removes the pressure to constantly prove the relationship to others. There will always be observers who question what they do not understand. Sometimes friends or family members may struggle to accept a relationship that appears unexpected. A true partnership does not depend on the approval of observers. It depends on the commitment shared between the two individuals who have chosen to walk together. Proverbs 3 teaches that we should trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, acknowledging Him in all our ways so that He will direct our paths. This guidance encourages couples to rely on wisdom rather than outside opinions when making decisions about their future. As they continue building their life together, they begin discovering new aspects of one another's character. Character is revealed most clearly during moments of pressure. When circumstances become challenging, true attitudes appear naturally. If patience exists, it becomes visible during difficult conversations. If humility exists, it appears where mistakes are acknowledged without pride. Over time, these qualities strengthen the relationship because both individuals learn that they can depend on one another even when life becomes complicated. Dependability becomes one of the greatest gifts within marriage. Knowing that someone will remain beside you through uncertainty creates emotional security that cannot easily be replaced. Hebrews 10 reminds believers to hold firmly to the hope they profess, because the one who promised is faithful. Faithfulness is the essence of lasting relationships. It is the quiet decision made repeatedly to remain loyal even when circumstances change. It is the Well, when circumstances change, it is the SEC, willingness to continue investing time, effort, and compassion into the partnership, even when life becomes busy or demanding. As years pass, couples begin realizing that love grows deeper when it is expressed through consistent actions rather than dramatic gestures. Small daily expressions of care become powerful reminders of commitment. Preparing a meal, sharing a conversation after a long day, offering encouragement before an important challenge, these simple acts build a sense of belonging. Belonging creates a home where both individuals feel safe to be themselves. Within this environment, authenticity flourishes. Within this environment, authenticity flourishes. Authenticity means that neither partner feels pressure to hide their weaknesses or pretend to be perfect. Instead, they support one another through growth, recognizing that every person continues learning throughout life. Proverbs 27 reminds us that iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. This sharpening process reflects the way partners influence each other positively. A person who once struggled with patience may become more patient through the example of their spouse. A person who once lacked confidence may gain courage through the encouragement they receive. Growth within a relationship becomes a shared journey where both individuals contribute to each other's development. Sometimes the most powerful growth occurs during moments of adversity. Adversity reveals the depth of commitment within a relationship. When unexpected problems appear, couples who remain united discover strength they did not know they possessed. Instead of facing difficulties alone, they stand together, combining their wisdom, resilience, and faith. Life has a way of preparing people quietly long before their paths cross. There are moments in the past that once felt insignificant, yet later become meaningful pieces of the story. A difficult season that forced patience, a disappointment that strengthened faith, a period of loneliness that taught the value of companionship. And so as your life continues unfolding, remember this truth. What seems unexpected to the world is never unexpected to God. Every waiting season, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty has been a preparation for this union. The person you are about to marry is not a coincidence. They are the answer to prayers whispered in silence, the blessing shaped to years of growth, and the companion who will walk with you through every mountain and valley. Marriage is more than a ceremony. It is a covenant, a sacred partnership where love, patience, faith, and understanding converge. As you step forward into this new chapter, carry gratitude for the journey, trust for the road ahead, and courage to embrace the unknown together. Let your hearts remain humble, your spirits united, and your love rooted in purpose, faith, and divine guidance, knowing that the life you build together will be far greater than you could have ever imagined. Knowing that the life you build together than you could have ever imagined.